One of the most common things that women face over the age of 40 is having hip pain. And if this has come on because of a lot of sitting or a lot of activity and your hips have just taken a beating and they feel stiff and achy, then we're gonna do some simple stretches today and show you how to keep your hips more mobile, so therefore you can be more active and do the things that you wanna do without your hips breaking down. And mobility is key. My name is Dr. Dawn Andalone. I'm a women's health physical therapist and helping so many women with hip and lower back problems. Hip pain can come from a lot of different sources. I do have other videos on this channel in regards to specifics to help hip bursitis or hip arthritis, and even some Pilates exercises for hip pain and strengthening. But today we're gonna do some hip stretches to help with that pain relief and help get your hips a little more mobile. My top 5 favorite stretches are in this video, and hip pain can be such an annoyance because it can happen in the groin area, it can be pain along the side of your hip, it can come from a lot of different sources, or having even some sciatica, that pain in the buttock or down the back of your leg. So with doing these stretches and exercises, make sure that you're not having any major symptoms that need some attention, like having nerve numbness or tingling, or a lot of weakness in your leg where you're having some difficulty walking. You definitely want to get that checked out. But if you're okay to exercise and you want a simple program of something you can do daily to help your hip mobility, then you might want to keep watching these and start doing these exercises on a daily basis. I also want to mention that hip flexibility, that mobility in your joint, is because it's so important to get up and down from the floor, to get in and out of bed, to tie your shoes and put your clothes on. Hip mobility needs to be addressed and can be changed at any stage in life. You can improve your flexibility even into your 70s and 80s and 90s if you're doing these things consistently. Also, you want to have good mobility before you focus a lot on strengthening exercises. If your hip doesn't move in all directions, but you're going and doing a lot of loading and strengthening to that hip, well, it can get irritated and you can develop things like tendonitis or bursitis. So keeping your hips mobile, such an important thing for women especially. So my first stretch is a hip flexor stretch. I'm going to show you. Okay, as you can see, I am down in a kneeling position, so I'm going to take one leg in front and one leg behind. I have a soft, squishy pad here. You can use a pillow, but you want to be in a kneeling position, and this way you're going to shift your weight forward so you get a pull in the front of your hip. I'll actually show you on the other side so you can see the hip opening here is going to stretch the muscles in the front of your hip, like your psoas muscle and part of your quad too. This can be an intense stretch for a lot of people, but if you want to make it a little more advanced because this is easy for you, then you can actually go back into a full lunge position here and stretch the front of your hip in a lunge stretch. With any of these stretches, you want to be in a position where you just start to feel the stretch, and that's where you're going to hold it and pause for at least 30 seconds to a minute. It might be easier if you're resting your knee down, that you also think about tucking your bottom underneath you and staying up nice and tall, because you'll get a better stretch here. Rather than just kind of shifting forward and back, you want to tuck your bottom and tuck your pelvis underneath you to get that good pull. If you are in a lunge position, you might want to rest your arm down and then drop down a little bit, but this gives you a different stretch when you have your knee down as well. All right, the next stretch is a pigeon stretch. This is going to address those muscles deep in your hip that help really open your hip, help you be able to sit on the floor a little bit easier. Now, this stretch, you can use an ottoman in front of your couch, you can use the arm of the couch, or you can use your bed, something that is elevated a little bit. So I'm taking one leg and I'm going to bring it up in this position. So if you've ever done yoga, this is like doing a pigeon stretch, but a modified version. So I have my leg up in front of me and my ankle is in line with my knee, and then I'm gonna lean forward over that shin and get a good deep stretch underneath here through my hip. Now, if that hurts your knee, then there are modifications. You can get into a figure 4 stretch on your back, cross one leg over and grab in between your legs there. That could be more comfortable for your knee. But a modified pigeon stretch with your leg up on a bed or arm of a couch is a great stretch for your outer hip and helping prevent things like bursitis or tendonitis, and helps that mobility in external rotation in your hip. So with any of these, make sure you're holding for 30 seconds to a minute and doing a couple times on each side as well. Okay, the next stretch is a butterfly stretch. So this one is gonna be for hip rotation like the last one, but a little bit different because this is gonna address those inner thighs. So we are taking the soles of our feet together, sitting up nice and tall, get flat, lower back. So try not to round and arch your back. And you're gonna lean forward like you're leaning your belly button forward right between your legs there. Now, if this is really difficult for you, you can choose to do a modified version with one leg straight and one knee bent, and then lean forward from there. That might give you a real deep stretch in your inner thigh. Very important, especially for our pelvic floor area, to have the muscles of our inner thighs be flexible and mobile there too, because that can put a lot of tension on your pelvic floor muscles if you are really limited here. And it can also create a lot of stress on the hip joint area, creating some exacerbation to symptoms of arthritis too when these muscles are really tight. So that butterfly stretch, hold for about a minute there, or if you're doing the single leg one, you can hold for about 30 seconds to a minute on each side. Okay, the other version of getting those inner thighs stretched, I'm using a cushion again for my knee. You can use a pillow, but I'm down on one knee and the other leg is out to the side. My hands are in front of me. And this way you can shift back your tailbone backward and play around with it where you get the deepest stretch, but you will feel that all the way up into the groin area, and holding for about 30 seconds to a minute there. You want to make sure that your muscles around your hip try to stay as relaxed as possible. You're not tensing your glutes or doing anything funny with your pelvic floor muscles and really tensing like a Kegel. You want to be able to let those muscles go as you're stretching. So you do that on each side for about 30 seconds to a minute. Okay, and finally, one of my favorites, hamstring stretch. Now, if you're experiencing sciatica or pain down the back of the leg, you don't want to do this type of stretch, too strenuous. It will irritate nerve symptoms. So go back and watch one of my other videos about sciatica and some things you can do to help it. So otherwise, if you're not getting that, but your hips are stiff and achy, so important to stretch your hamstrings in this fashion, where you're on your back, so your back is relaxed and your pelvis is on the floor, tailbone on the floor, and I'm using a belt. You can use a belt to a bathrobe, you can use some kind of strap, and you are stretching the back of your thigh. Those muscles attach all the way up to your pelvis, and this way you are gonna have a better stride length when you're walking. It's gonna be more comfortable. You will not feel that tension sometimes you get in the back of your thighs when you've been sitting a lot. So try that on both sides. Hold for about a minute or so and just relax the other leg along the floor. You want to make sure that knee stays straight when you're stretching. Okay, there you have it. Those are my 5 top favorite stretches for mobility of your hips to help be able to ease some tension and help have a hip routine that you can do every day for mobility, no matter how old you are. Those are all very helpful, especially with some of the modifications I gave as well. And if you have watched any of my other videos, then you know I love to talk about Pilates. So I have some other great videos about hip strengthening and Pilates. So you might want to watch that after this. If you haven't subscribed already to this channel, please do. I release new videos every week, and I'd love to keep helping and guiding you through feeling less pain, more mobile, and more active as you are a woman over the age of 40. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again on another video.